Coach Kavanagh came out, and he was talking about Conor McGregor has returned to the gym, says he hasn't lost a beat. Now, that's a big deal from Coach Kavanagh because he only gives it to you straight. He has zero part of him that is promotion. He has zero part of him where he goes to the public to build somebody up. You ask him a question, he just tells you straight. I'll just give you an example. Conor McGregor was going to come back after he fought Floyd. And Coach Kavanagh said, I'm not going to train him until he convinces me why he's coming back. I need to know this is about victory. I need to know this is about championships. If this is for something to do, or this is the only life that he knows, or he thinks that he's supposed to, I'm not going to train him. It's a big deal. Kavanagh spoke this way. And Kavanagh even did cut down time. And he even did give other coaches more time with Conor because he wasn't seeing what he wanted to see. And I don't fully know what Kavanagh's looking for, but I know he doesn't give a damn about the money. I know he doesn't give a damn about the promotion. Right, getting his name out there, doing this interview. That's not what he's doing. He's an old school guy. He goes to the same gym every day. He works with people that come through that door. Some new kid comes through the door with their father, gets introduced, boom, gives him a chance. Next thing you know, it's 10 years later and that guy's fighting in the octagon. But this is what Coach Kavanagh does. So when Coach Kavanagh comes out and praises Conor, it's not the same as when most coaches would praise somebody. And there is some very positive things that happen when you're out. The rest that you get, and we always think about that as physical. He's repairing his body. He's rebuilding his body. There's a truth to that. But that's in the very short term. You'll need 3 days to damn near be at 100%. Within 30 days, you're starting to tip the scale of, okay, I'm regressing. The good news that happens when you take a break is it's the mental relief that you get. One thing that is very difficult is to stay in the same division for your entire career if your career is a period of time, call it 8 to 12 years. It's very hard to do. You will go crazy staring at those names. You will go crazy reading those numbers. You will go crazy watching a new guy who won over a guy that you beat, but did the new guy beat that guy that you're familiar with worse than you beat it, right? It's one of these, you'll go crazy. And a great relief you can get to that is when you're forced out of sport, you're taking a break. Now you get to rest your mind. And I also feel that that's a big part as to why Conor has not established his weight class yet. Conor spent enough time with the 45-pounders he wanted out, plus he was having a hard time making the weight class. Well, that's kind of getting there with 55. Conor can make 55. I'm talking about staring at the same names. How many times do I got to stare at Diaz? How many times, do I got to stare at Poirier? Do I got to stand at Ferguson? How many times do I got to hear about Justin Gaethje? Now we got this new guy, Michael Chandler. Like, what am I supposed to do? Okay, you know what? Let me just go to 170. And going to 170 isn't him physically and actually going to 170. It's let him send his mind up to 170. Let him start fantasizing and daydreaming about the Usmans of the world and the Covingtons of the world and the Leon Edwardses of the world. Get yourself somewhere else just to have a mental break. And I share that because this break has been very real for Conor. But it's not the physical side that you're looking at. It's the mental side. So there is very good reason why Conor would come back into the gym and be in beast mode. Some of the best guys I've ever sparred with in my life are teammates that I had that I was perfectly familiar with. Whipped them all the time. They'd slip one in on me. I get the best of them all the time. When those guys retired, then they pop in the gym about 5 times over the next year just to see the boys, just to say hello. It was a nightmare to go with them. There's something about when you don't care. There's something about when you're relaxed. There's something about when the outcome no longer matters to you. Those were some of the most dangerous guys I've ever been with. And I've watched guys, even in wrestling, my true love. I've watched them be retired and show up to the U.S. Open. We had a guy do that this year. A guy who was retired named Maple. He's a coach out in Missouri. He lost a bet with one of his athletes. He had to enter a tournament. It happened to be the Nationals. He won it. Nobody was ready for him. Nobody had studied. Nobody had a heads up that he was going to enter. He's a former NCAA champion. It's not as though he doesn't know how to wrestle. He's in the practice room every day, right? He's a coach at Missouri. So he's plenty active with it. Oh, by the way, he's not paralyzed by analysis of the field. He hasn't even looked at the field. Goes in, walks through the tournament. Now everybody is familiar with him. Now everybody is watching him. Now there is no more surprises. Now all of a sudden it does matter to him. His very next match at a very different tournament, lost. Out of the whole thing. from the best in the country to going to a tournament that was within the country, couldn't win a match. Amazing story, amazing job, but you see them all the time. I wasn't to put Maple down or how he did at the trials, not at all. I'm sharing with you one of the huge advantages you get by being out, even if you're forced out. And it's not just rejuvenating and recharging your body. You finally get to rest your mind. You get to put all of those voices that love to tell you you can't. You have to put them out of your mind because it's not even a conversation. It's a very interesting spot when Coach Kavanagh says that Conor McGregor is in beast mode and that he has not lost a step. I believe it's true.